the redevelopment money topic, I know there's certain restrictions on what it can be used for, and I do think in a lot of instances it is wasted, but is a crossing guard something that would fall within the restricted use of redevelopment money?
Well, there's always ways you can use the money in different manners. I'm not saying directly use that for that, but perhaps some of the money that we're using, that redevelopment money could handle, could be shifted to pay for the crossing guard.
Okay.
That's
okay.
It'd be more difficult than directly.
Yeah, like I said, I'm not aware of all the restrictions. I know there's some of what it can be used for. But yeah, shifting something that's currently being paid that could be used with redevelopment, which would free up money for a crossing guard. Okay, that makes sense.
Okay, Rick?
One thing I haven't heard hit yet, which has been a hot topic in the past, is our hillside development and growth. Can you give an opinion on that?
Okay, still waiting on these softballs. All right. Okay, hillside development. I want to tell you a quick story. I'm going to take a little time on this if you don't mind, because I have, unfortunately and wrongly, have been, perhaps because I'm a general contractor. I'm kitchen bathroom model. That's what I do. But perhaps because I'm a general contractor, they assume that I'm, this builder. That I just want to build houses all over the place. I love these hillsides. I absolutely love the hillsides, and I love that backdrop. Okay, and I would hope to preserve that backdrop. The issue is that in order to preserve that backdrop, we'd have to pay well over $200 million to buy that land. Okay, where are we going to get that money? Okay? The only way that we can come close to getting a serious amount of money, putting a serious amount of money together, is to expand the dump past 2020, bond against that money, to double down that money, to increase that money. And then once you had cobbled together 25 million, seek grants or matching grants from the federal government, which doesn't have any money, or the state government, which doesn't have any money, to cobble together enough money to buy that land or to do something, right? We cannot do it. And I'm unwilling to trade a small amount of development in that area, which is their land, they have public property rights, for an increase in truck traffic on our roads to expand that dump for another 30 years. Okay, so that is a very serious issue. I came up with, back 10 years ago, actually it's longer than that, since it was in 1996, where I said 70% open space. If a developer comes and says to council, we're going to set aside 70% open space and grant it to the city of Brea and stay off those ridge lines, I'm willing to sit down and to talk to you. And I think that's fair, right? I think that's a reasonable approach. Unfortunately, there are some in this city that they're unwilling to even do that and just want us to just seize that land from the private property rights or private property owners. So that is my position on the future of the hillsides, is that I want to be reasonable.
I think the moderator should be able to ask a question.
Absolutely.
A few years ago, I was party to a small group who led, well, our objective was to, if not closing the dump, to reroute dump traffic, get them off of Valencia and Imperial Highway by putting a back access road, which basically already exists. It just needs to be modernized from the Tonner Canyon area to the landfill. Would you support an issue such as this?
Absolutely. I get actually a quarterly report from the county. As a matter of fact, the waste management group, the dump issue has been it's been on my mind for many years. So I continue to get this quarterly report, and each quarter this shows that the county has made $52 million off that dump. Okay? So I don't know currently how much we get from the dump as far as the dump fees, but the county's bringing in $52 million every quarter. So that much money, and each report that I get, there's new technologies where they're able to squeeze more space out of each of the landfills. So there may be a time where the county comes back and talks, and again, I need 3 votes on that council to stop that expansion of the dump. So if it's going to happen, if the county pushes it, if it's their land again, but the only way it could go is if they improve Toner Canyon Road and get those trucks off our road.
Okay. Back to Milk's fire station staffing. Do you agree that apprentices should replace retired firefighters or other vacancies that may occur?
Do I think apprentices should replace, okay, the firefighter retires? Okay, first of all, we have these apprentices, and these you know, even the fire department, they don't appreciate the work these apprentices do. They go to school and they get 1 shift a month sometimes, and so I don't even know how they put themselves through all the training. Okay, just like our guys want the opportunity to train and get out there and do other things, these apprentices, they're doing all they can to become firefighters. So if one of our guys retires, you know, I definitely think we should be hiring these apprentices first. They should be the first ones in line, and that's what we should be training them for. So is that am I going down the right road there? Because
Let me clarify that.
yeah, clarify that, because
They're not going to become firefighters. They're going to replace that firefighter with an apprentice at apprentice pay. They're not going to promote that apprentice to firefighter. So they're using the cost-saving budget, and they're not going to pay them in full. They're not going to be any different than any other apprentice. I'm asking if they're taking apprentices, you're an apprentice. He's a firefighter. He retires. You transfer over to his space at the same rate of pay that you're presently getting as an apprentice. You do not get his wage rates.
no, that just doesn't make sense. I'm sorry. No. No, we have a certain staffing level, and we got to replace. If a guy retires, you're gonna get a new firefighter in there. So
Here's your softball.
thank you, Glenn.
Downtown, right in the middle of Brea, we have a Tower Records that has been vacant for over 2 years. And it appears that council or the city manager seem to think that they have better business sense than the people who have offered to rent or lease that property. What is your position on the fact that council has refused to allow any prospective tenant to currently use that property?
Glenn, could I amend your question a little
Sure.
bit? Remembering what Glenn said, how do you feel about the city expending all of this money to prevent a nationally known pharmacy to go in there when now they're talking about one of these small food stores going in? Okay, but address Glenn.
Yeah, it was an error, and in hindsight, I'm sure if the council had an opportunity to revisit that, they would make the right decision. But yes, that was a huge error when that occurred. Again, keep in mind that we don't own that property. That's a private property. Those people should be making those decisions, not the city council.
That's my belief, that's my position, but it's a lot of money to suck up on vacant property for 2 years.
Sure.
Steve, I came in late, I don't know if you had remarks earlier, but is it okay to get into your personal life?
Yes, sir, please.
Last time, you were associated, you'd left the council and your wife was very ill, and
Sure.
I believe, could you update us on what your family like? Children, grandchildren?
I appreciate the.
You don't have to answer
No,
the question.
absolutely. Yes, I actually my wife had breast cancer, and she had a double mastectomy and survived that. She just recently had, as a result of the breast cancer, she's been 6 years cancer free now. But she did have to have some other work. It's just hysterectomy. It's just got over. She is now. She's not here today. She's left last night for Hawaii, which is her vacation. With her girlfriend. It was they had a timeshare, and so she's just paying for the flight. She's got a week in Hawaii, so she's taking some much needed time off.
Yeah.
So
Our
my-
wives share common ground.
Well, my wife is my biggest fan. I want to tell you that the reason that I'm delayed in the council campaign is because my wife interviewed me for a month. And she said, why would I vote for you? I'm tearing up because I'm proud of her.
You don't want to go on doing it.
Oh, no.
I understand.
Anyway, so she's just been a great source of inspiration for me, and I'm very proud of her.
Good.
So, as far as my kids go, I have 5 daughters, and 3 of them graduated college, and I have 2 nurses now. One's an LBN, and one's just graduated. Shay, my oldest, as a matter of fact, just graduated, and she's waiting on her test, the state test, but she did pretty much the highest in her class. One grandson, 5-year-old, Rayson, he's just great. And I love that boy. I just saw him this morning. So, good stuff.
Very good.
Back to Milt. Fire station staffing, sub-question 4. Do you agree with the concept of what OCFA option 3 set up as staffing of fire stations?
Man, come on. Do you agree with the concept of what OCF option 3 set up as staffing of fire stations? Okay, OCF option 3 was the preferred option of our many of the people in this room. Okay, so I participated in some of the public forums. I certainly watched it on TV, and I kept abreast through the internet on this issue. So I would look more into the staffing levels, but I feel that if you who followed this closer than I did, if you agree with it, it must have been a good position. I know that the fire department, a couple of people in the fire department that kept me informed. Certainly Paul Ruiz is in the back. He's kept me informed on this issue. So fire option number 3 was a solid option.
Question in the far back.
Yes, Joy.
Would you be willing to bring Orange County Fire Authority back into the picture and take a look at their option again?
Yes. Okay. Well, certainly the fact that the option 6, or this new option was presented by the city council. I'm sorry, was presented by the city manager in just 3 weeks and didn't have a thorough review. I believe that it definitely needs a more thorough review. At the public forum over at the church that I went to, the last one, they specifically told us, the facilitators, that we can't talk about equipment use. And then all of a sudden, this whole new option was all about equipment use, and it was more about equipment than anything else. So I definitely think that whole process needs to be reviewed. Absolutely.
So you would
Yes, absolutely.
allow them back into the picture and take a look at their plan?
Oh, absolutely, absolutely. Yes, ma'am.